Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of the This Is Gonna Hurt podcast. My name is Gordon Duncan. I'm the owner of Capitalize Marketing and Consulting, and this show is part of the larger Capitalize Your Best podcast network of shows. Today is Monday. This is Gonna Hurt, which is a personal growth podcast helping you make a better you. On Tuesdays, we have Coach Training Partners, which helps coaches create programs and grow their revenue. On Wednesdays, we have Capitalize Your Best, which is our business and marketing growth podcast. On Thursdays, we don't have a formal podcast, but we do have a live 11 a.m. coaching call, which I will tell you about in the Capitalize Your Best online community at the end of the show. And then on Fridays, we have You're Entitled to Your Opinion, which is our pop culture podcast. But friends, right now, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate the likes, the shares, the comments, subscriptions. They all mean so much. Right now, each one of you is carrying hidden stress in your body. I mean, if I ask you, are you stressed? Most people would say yes. But what we aren't aware of day to day is that stress is hidden in our bodies. And we just adapt and get used to it. You ask someone, how are you feeling? They just go, I'm just tired. Or how are you feeling? Like, I'm exhausted or run down. And that may be the case. But what it is, it's actually stress that's hidden in the body. And there are ways to remove that stress. And that's what I want to help you with. Now, the background of all of this is, of course, my epilepsy journey. Before I had epilepsy, I just saw myself as a person running full blast all day, all the time. I just prided myself on 5.5 hours sleep, and I would go running and I would eat and do whatever I wanted to do. And what I didn't realize is that I was just building up stress in my body. Then in 2012, when both my parents passed in a 4-month period, that stress triggered my left frontal lobe brain damage. From that, I began having seizures, and they were out of control. I could have them at any point in any time. Well, over the course of my 2-year journey of finding the best epilepsy medicine and then transforming my diet, transforming my hydration, transforming how I worked out, I began to realize that I was carrying this stress, and stress triggered seizures. So I had to find ways to reduce that stress. And I found my ability to do that through things such as affirmation, breathing, and stretching. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to share with you ways in which you can remove that hidden stress. Now, before we get there, I want to invite you on June 6th at 10 a.m., that's Saturday, here in Fredericksburg at the Silver Collection Apartments Yoga Studio. I am leading a 1-hour mindful movement workshop. And this workshop is intended to help you remove that stress from your body. So the things that we're going to talk about here today, we're actually going to be demonstrating it in a live workshop. Now, if you are a resident of the Silver Collection, then this is completely free. But if you aren't, if you'd like to join us, then it is $26. And if you reach out to me, I want to make sure you're there because we can only have 15 people in the room. And do not worry about your athletic level. Don't worry about how limber you are. I'm going to make sure it works for everybody. But we're going to run through a mindful movement workshop that's going to help you relieve all that stress that you're hiding in your body. The hidden way in which we store stress in our body is very imperceptible. And what I mean by that is we begin to hide it in our body and we don't even notice it. For example, we are on computers or we're on our phones and we are hunched over. And that question mark in our spine causes stress to bundle into our muscles, so that if we sit up straight, it's almost like we almost catches our breath because we're so tightly clenched. Or if we're on a computer, we're just so focused and we're not getting up and we're not taking a walk, or our hydration is poor and we're just drinking coffee or energy drinks. And when you have a lack of hydration in your body, all of a sudden your muscles begin to contract. That's why you would get a cramp if you were running. That's happening. And then also, if we're not mindful, our breathing becomes shallow. And like we're stressed and we're not taking full breaths and we're just trying to get all of our work done, or we're in conflict with someone and we're not actually going. And all of a sudden, that when we do that day after day, that stress hides in our body. We go to sleep, we can't even rest because our muscles are clenched. We're not hydrated. We're not breathing. We're not prepared to rest. And our bodies are just a big mass of tightened up muscles and the inability to relax. When we do that, we carry that stress. And we don't even notice that we're doing it day in and day out. We just begin to accept how bad we feel. When we live in that reality, even if one of them, if we're not sitting correctly, or if we're not breathing correctly, or if we're not hydrating, we are putting stress into our physical body. Our mindset is going straight into our bodies, and it's causing stress, and it's causing muscle fatigue and cramps and headaches. There is hope to get out of that. But the first thing we've got to do is realize that we're carrying stress in our body, and we're carrying stress through the way we breathe, and we're carrying stress by our lack of hydration. One way we can remove the stress that's hidden in our body is through sustained practices. Sustained practices. Now, what I mean by that is that we have sustained moments of our breathing. We have sustained moments of stretching and expanding our chest, and we have sustained moments of affirmations. Let me give you an example. Like if you have a sustained moment of breathing, like if you breathe in to the count of 3 and breathe out, excuse me, if you breathe out, like for example, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it, and then release it. If you do that in a series of 3 or 4 times, all of a sudden your body begins to reset. You just breathe into the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold it. And exhale. If you do that 3 or 4 times and you're patient about it, that sustained practice is going to lower your blood pressure. It's going to help you think more clearly. If you stretch, like if you would just sit up in your chair, like I'm doing here, and if you just took your hands and you brought them all the way up and you looked up in the air, and then you joined your hands, and then you brought them back down slowly. If you did that 4 times, all of a sudden you'd almost get dizzy sometimes. You're like, whoa, because all of a sudden the stress is leaving your body. Or if you listened to affirmations, you can do this a couple of ways. You can just go to Spotify and type in affirmations. You can say spiritual affirmations, money affirmations, relational affirmations. And it is just 5, 10, sometimes 60 minutes of people just saying, I am relaxed. I am comfortable. I am patient. Or you can write them out on your own, record them, and listen to them if you'd rather it be your own voice. But when we do that, what happens, we begin to make new neural pathways. And the new neural pathways in our brains do this. When all of a sudden you encounter something stressful, your brain goes, oh, I have a neural pathway for that. So for example, if you're like, I'm never going to get this done, but then all of a sudden the neural pathway goes, I am calm under stress, if that is a practiced affirmation. When we do that, when we have sustained stretching moments and sustained breathing and sustained affirmations, those practices help the stress leave our bodies. There's incredible power when you combine sustained movement, sustained breathing, and sustained affirmations together. Call that mindful movement. So for example, again, you would sit here and you would sit in a comfortable position. It doesn't require any measure of physical fitness. Like all I'm saying is sit up straight. That's it. And then all of a sudden you would have the sustained movement, and you would breathe into the count of 4, hold it, then release it, while at the same time either listening or saying affirmations. So I'll demonstrate it to you. I'm going to remain straight. I'm going to lift my hands. I'm going to count internally, and I'm going to say an affirmation. It would look like this. It would look like, I am calm and control under stress. I am creative and I find solutions to problems. When we do that, Our body is relaxed. We're getting the air that we need. Our brain are making new neural pathways. When we do that in a sustained fashion, it transforms you and it enables the stress to leave your body. Friends, I want to invite you to our very first Capitalize Your Wellness Mindful Movement Workshop. This is June 6th at the Silver Collection Apartments in Fredericksburg. They're across the streets from the Fred Nat Stadium. And in there, they have an amazing yoga studio. And we can have 15 people in there. And I will lead us through a 1 hour session of sustained practices of movement, breathing, and affirmations. It does not require any level of physical fitness. Some people will be on the floor, some people will be in a chair, some people will be on a bench, whatever works. And for an hour, we're going to work through a guided session of movement, of affirmations, and breathing. If you are a resident at Silver Collection, this is completely free for you. If not, it costs $26, and we have a limit of 15 people in the room. So if you reach out to me, I would love to have you there. I would love to share with you the practices that have transformed my body and my mind ever since my epilepsy journey. These are things I've learned over the last 15 years, and I promise you we'll be very careful. We'll look out for you, but our goal is to enable you to find a relaxation like you have not known. Additionally, my friends, we also have the Thursday live coaching call, and that's part of the Capitalize Your Best online community. That is a private community. It's not on social media. There's no algorithms. There's no junk. In there, we have daily coaching. We have the Thursday coaching call. We have Wednesday night accountability and book club, and we have the end of month seminar. In there, they're paid courses. They're free courses. It's a wonderful community. So friends, please reach out to me. I have a 7-day pass for you that's absolutely free. Beyond that, it's $29 a month, which is cheaper than a tank of gas and will take you a lot farther. But friends, thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you again tomorrow for Coach Training Partners and next week for This Is Gonna Hurt. Thanks so much, friends. Bye-bye.